Thank you for coming. I know it's the last day of a very long week and very early Friday morning session. I'll be talking about my favorite topic, fraud, and how to protect customers and individuals from fraud. Specifically understanding the psychology of the modern identity fraudster. If you know the art of war analogy here, know the enemy, understanding the fraudster and understanding yourself is the best combination when it comes to stopping fraud. So my name is Cem. I'm a senior director of product at Onfido. What we do is identity verification for our customers, essentially on the onboarding side. Identity might mean many things in this event. My identity is when we use people's IDs and faces and biometrics to identify, to understand who they say they are, is actually trying to onboard to our customer systems, essentially opening a bank account, creating a cryptocurrency account, or like, I don't know, having a Uber driver account. It's probably not going to be surprise you that fraud is going up. Identity fraud, as we see it, is going up from 2019 to 2022 as of late last year. We see 44% increase. So we create a yearly report, fraud report. It's available for you to read. We're looking at 1,000+ customer of ours and 100 millions of onboarding and try to cluster fraud vectors, how they attack, how they do, what's their tactics, and how it's changing. So when we look at the data, after the pandemic, we see a lot of increase in fraud. We see two reasons behind it. The first reason is money is very not accessible these days, and fraudsters are getting, the pool of fraudsters are getting bigger and bigger. It's easy money for them. And we see a lot of uneducated individuals coming into online world and try to do things that they might not be doing. So combination of those two, we see a lot of identity fraud, unfortunately. I'll dive into the motivations of the identity fraudster now. We classify them into 3 buckets, mostly financial, but direct financial gain is the biggest one we see. This is when a bad actor tries to log into a system, registers an account, and try to get direct monies out of the system. Illicit activities, when we see the money is not stolen, money is still the fraudster's money, but they are trying to clean it, or they are trying to move money from one place to another without any authorizations. Still their money, hard to identify because there's no alarm bells coming from the owner of the monies. The third one is revenge and fun. This is my favorite, but I'll be not talking about that one. We see people creating accounts to have fun, like to have revenge with their ex-boyfriend, girlfriends. These ones, the reason behind, the psychology behind is more like being part of that and holding their identities as a tool to attack people. The modern identity fraudster, when you close your eyes and think about a fraudster, I don't know if this is because Hollywood or something, we always see a hoodie guy in a black room, a laptop, like Matrix style numbers coming down. It's unfortunate. He's probably, or she's probably a fraudster. I'm not telling you he's not, but there are many flavors of fraudsters. There are 5 buckets from low sophisticated to high sophisticated, and we classify them in 5 different buckets. In these buckets, we really care about these because the protection you will want to have for the fraudster type is very different. For a casual abuser to a sophisticated fraudster, a casual abuser is when someone is actually your customer or your employee who will be abusing the system by clicking a button, taking something out of the system. It's not that bad, but like no one is stopping me, so I can take that monies or the database privilege from the system so I can do my job faster but not proper. Is just you tell them not to do it and they go away. But when it comes to sophisticated fraudsters, the prevention methods differs, and like you need to have layered approach to protect your customers or your companies. So in the classifications, we see abusers as they are not your users, customers. They want to just be there to abuse you. Sophisticated abusers are the people who actually make this as a job, and they keep iterating on abusing the systems, collecting monies, and this is their salary. Fraudsters are the people who actually have access to fraudulent identities, cards, or different types of tools to hit you, but they don't necessarily build their own. They use something online, go to dark web, buy some identities, use a VPN service, collect things all over the place to hit you. These fraudsters are hard to catch, hard to stop, but still we have the capabilities to understand if it's a VPN, if like these IDs are stolen or not. Sophisticated fraudsters, I have in the last 10 years privileged to stop few of them all around the world. These are companies, literally engineers, they tap in, they build code to hit you. The day-to-day operations of them is literally try to hit. They have their own KPIs, they work for you. They work for you to hit you. So, like I say, it's very different to protect your system from them. How do they operate? If you want to remember one thing, it's always about return on investment. It's the psychology of a human being, and it's not different for a fraudster. I'm thirsty right now. In my back of my mind tries to understand if I am thirsty enough to go over there, grab a water and drink. And when the balance is off, I stand up, go and take a cup of water or whatever. So our brains work like that, and fraudsters also work like that. So the amount of time, energy, and money they spend versus how much they get is the key to understanding what they will be doing. If a bad actor is spending a day to get $50 out of the system, or get like a few hours of not working as an employee, it's so different than if they spend 10 minutes and get like $10. If they see that return on investment is high, they will keep doing it. They will be motivated to go above and beyond to hit you many, many times. So we see that a lot. When we use our protections, when we raise the bar to pass our systems, the investment goes up, the return is the same, but the return on investment goes in a way that they don't want to stay with you, and they hit you, they just disappear. It's not hard to imagine. They plan a lot, they're patient, and they do have smart combination of tactics. I will give you one example. This is one of our cryptocurrency clients. This is one attack from one fraudster and one event. So what happened? We classify these into 4 different buckets, phases of it. The red phase is the most dangerous one. The first phase is bad actors realize there is a vulnerability. They realize they can open an account with Photoshop ID changes. They know they can open an account by an email and only an email. They realize they can actually create money from the system. There's heartbeats. We see a lot of heartbeats. They keep looking at if the vulnerability is still there until the day comes they hit you big time. The reason behind it is they know that almost all the companies out there is reactive to fraud. We are not mostly proactive. We don't build mechanisms to detect and understand the risks and put prevention methods before got hit. So they know that you will be reactive. They know that you will find ways to stop them. So they want to hit you big time. The planning phase is red. They hit you. They understand the vulnerability is there. The execution is blue. They try to get as much as they can. And the yellow one is when we have the prevention methods go live, they go away. But the green one, in my opinion, is the worst one. In the green one, they keep hitting you, try to see if the vulnerability is back. They want to see if you lower the shield. They want to see if some deployment you do actually put back the vulnerability back. They keep hitting you every week, every month to see, and the cycle comes back. When they see the vulnerability come back again, they plan, they execute big time, and then go away. This one, I believe, was like $50 per account, and you are looking at $100,000 in few attempts. It's like from December to February. It's not a small amount of time. Unfortunately, in this occasion, our customer was very slow to enable some of the fraud products we have. Yeah. Let's talk about the operations and the scale they want a little bit more. If you, this is a data from our report. This is the document part of our business. So in the document world, we classify documents into 3 different buckets: easy, hard, and medium. Not super sophisticated. Easy one is when you look at an ID and say, this is fake. I mean, this everyone can understand. The medium one is the ID looks good, but something in the ID just like gives away. There are a lot of security features, so the security features are broken. Like someone copy-pasted a 0 from somewhere else from the document and moved it somewhere else to change the ID number or whatever. Still easy to, not easy, but like understandable from our systems. And the third one is very hard, where the ID is genuine, either stolen, some kind of model just created it. What we see is the easy percentage grew from 53% to almost 73% from 2021 to 2022, which actually gives that they are trying as much as they can with as little investment they do. Just copy paste a document, paint, change it, and like throw to the system to see if they can pass. So the number is growing. And if you look at the hard ones going down a little bit, I mean, it's statistically insignificant, but the number is not growing a lot. But the problem is, this is 2023 now. In the first 6 months, that red becomes getting bigger and bigger. Next year's report, we will probably publish something very different than what we see right now. Because I have a question for you. Do you think this is a fraudulent ID or not? If this is not a fraudulent ID, probably I wouldn't put that as a slide. This is fraudulent. It's not a real ID. What's the classification with you? Is it easy to understand this is fraudulent or medium or hard? It is very hard for us because this is a real, this is not edited, this is a real photo of an ID. The content is correct, everything in this is correct. The reason I know this because we created it. This is not real. The hand is, everything in this image is not real. We have the AI models for the last 2 years. We built our own AI to generate as much as fake document as we can. We can create 20,000 images per hour these days, I guess, to inject into our models and try to see if we can identify these with 200 plus AI models to protect our systems. When you look at it, these tools used to be engineers building them, a lot of like research going behind it. We have like a lot of researchers, doctors, and a lot of talented people looking into it. These days, you can find a website that can generate these on the fly. So this is becoming a problem because the investment part is getting smaller and smaller, and ROIs are getting higher and higher. So if they find a way to bulk generate and get away with what they do, it will be very problematic going forward in the year. This is the document. So this is the bio part. So what we do is we take the document now. We understand it's okay. It's not fake. It's not stolen, whatnot. And the second level is extracting the image, photo of the image from the document and taking a match between the video of yourself or image of yourself to see if they match, because the ID might be okay, but it might not be in possession of the real holder of the identity. So if you look at it, the 2D, 3D, they're so funny. I mean, I have a lot of examples of them. They print, they try to get away with that. They use printed systems, so they print images to show into front of the camera. They do different other screens, and digital tampering is the third one. So these are the easy methods of trying to fool our systems so they can, just like investment is low. The sophisticated ones that we start seeing are more morphing the images, the real videos of fake people. Those are a little bit harder than, as you can imagine, identifying these. So this is also from our report. And the types of biometric fraud we see, 2D, 3D masks, and photo screen. The blue bits on the photo and the video part, as you can see, we still see very much unsophisticated ways of attacking, and we see that they still try to get away with as low as investment they can do. Again, it's for now. We are looking at 2023 data right now. Unfortunately, more sophisticated ways are coming in. So the consequences of the identity fraud can be harming. We know that it can be financially and reputationally problematic, and for individuals, it can be emotionally problematic. So I don't need to say that, but you need to protect your business and your customers. For corporates, what we see is proactively deploying identity fraud solutions on onboarding and BO is very important. It comes with a friction, I know. Sometimes there's no solution that actually helps the user experience and also the fraud prevention together. But what we see is if you deploy a solution, not necessarily enable it, and just enable it when time comes, this is the key to being not attacked by the fraudsters. What I'm trying to say is they plan it, they spend a lot of money to build up an identity pool of IDs, like 10,000 IDs now. They know the vulnerability, they know that they're going to hit you big time in the next week, and they know that your vulnerability still exists. The moment they start hitting you, if you raise the bar immediately, the message you're giving to the fraudster is, you don't know what I have as a protection method, and whatever you plan, how much investment you do, I might pull something up, and then you're gone. That is the psychology of the fraudster getting away from you and hitting someone else, because it's not reliable. They cannot rely on what they can do in your systems. They go away. Adopting multi-layer approach of fraud is very important. Most of the scenarios, we see people thinking that the one solution they have is the silver bullet. Unfortunately, it never is. There's always multiple layers of it. And considering step-up verification and building trust throughout the funnel is very important. We also see most of the protections are one step, which means that when you are in for good. Building trust between the user and your system continuously is becoming the key. For individuals, like I say, we see a lot of uneducated people, unfortunately. So education is becoming more important. Information and privacy is also. I'll do a bit deep dive on the layered fraud approach. We see the final solution looks very amazing when you say, oh, you need to show me an ID and you need to show your face, and I have great capabilities to match those two together and automatically give access to your system. But having passive signals like understanding the device, understanding the networks, understanding the behavioral analytics of the situation is actually very powerful. Before getting those documents uploaded, those user flows getting passed through, if you know those signals earlier, it's very easy to build up your defenses accordingly. So we see a lot of positivity on that one. Last reminder, I guess, the modern identity fraudster cares about scalable, high return on investment, and low risk opportunities. They don't want to be caught, obviously. The money needs to be there for their appetite, and they really care about the scalability of it. Uncertain, not scalable, and low return on investment is the one that you're really looking for. Cares about their business as you care about yours. This is the key. We see them as like different user personas. They're not. They are like other side of the business, but they're also like act like businesses. So, and the third one is they are ready to fight and waiting for you to make mistakes. If you remember the fourth phase, they always keep touching to see if it's a vulnerability. They keep looking at the pieces, and if they're never going to sleep. I'm seeing a lot of cases where they hit our customers Friday evening, bank holidays, weekends, when they know that there is no people out to hit in time. they do that intentionally because they know that a couple of more hours they can hit you, they will get more money out of it. It's always the case. So they wait for you to be drunk and like sleepy and make mistakes. The slowest in the pack, this is a weird one. It comes back to me a lot. Unfortunately, the game is between you and the fraudster, but you are also your competitors and the other players in the market, not direct competitors of yours, but the opportunities in the market is multiple. So if you are slowest in the pack to react, if you have the minimum solutions in place, you will probably gonna get first in the pack. And when the centralized solutions learn about these mistakes, the competition or the other players in the market might already be ready to protect themselves. So little bit pushing yourself to be in the middle of the pack is always positive. Okay, so exactly 21 minutes. I can take any questions if you have. If you don't have, just like you can LinkedIn me, find me somewhere. I'm happy to talk about fraud forever. Please.
Yeah. So just with like the identity verification business, I have a lot of vendors talking about selfies and their ability to detect that it's a real time selfie and not.
Yeah.
How well are we keeping ahead of kind of what the fraudsters are doing with that sort of biometric?
Good question. So there are a lot of innovative stuff coming in from the fraudsters that I can say. The good thing is there is a lot of regulations that we are following and everyone in the industry is following, and they are giving a lot of positive impact into our systems. We are getting information from our competitors and everyone in the business because this is against fraudsters, so we need to. So they get innovative, but at the end of the day, if you control the environment, so we do have an SDK, we control many aspects of it, from the injection to ownership of the SDK, cryptography, and like packages and everything. So if you follow the basic rules, it's very hard for someone to inject something in your system. Again, API solutions like send me an image through an API is always risky. Obviously, we don't like it. Sometimes it's the only scenario. So having layered approach of ML models trying to understand, human eye trying to understand, and putting all the efforts to try to understand, it becomes more important. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much, everyone.